Thank you everyone for joining us today for the third and final community engagement session for the new Spirit River Lodge. My name is Tracy Wells and I'm a project manager here at Barry Architecture.
And I'm Isaac Martinez. I'm an architect here at Barry Architecture and Associates.
Behind the camera we have Tracy Evans, our community engagement coordinator, that will be helping us out as well. Tonight, we're looking forward to getting any final input from the community to help us define the social architecture for this project. The agenda for tonight's presentation is a Zoom refresher, sessions 1 to 2 recap, community input, and our wrap-up. As per usual, I'll go over the few Zoom logistics. Given the challenges of doing a community engagement session remotely, we're going to keep everyone muted, and you can use the chat function or use the raise your hand function if you'd like to ask your question out loud. If you're on a desktop computer, the icons will look similar to the image on the left. And if you're on your smartphone or tablet, tap the 3 dots and a menu will pop up with the chat and raise hand feature. We have planned for an open discussion to gather your input on today's topic. As well, there should be a few minutes at the end to answer any additional questions. Lastly, if you have any technical difficulties during the presentation, we are recording the session and we'll be uploading it to our website within the next 24 hours. Before we get started, we'd like to take a moment to acknowledge all of the funding partners that you see on your screen who are contributing to the project. Thanks so much.
So we would also like to give the Government of Alberta and the Grand Spirit Foundation representatives an opportunity to provide any opening remarks before we get started with the presentation.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jeff Jansen. I'm a senior project manager here at Alberta Seniors in Housing. I'm a part of the project team that's going to be working to deliver this project. And I just wanted to say thank you to Isaac and your team for hosting the events. We've had a lot of great positivity. And on behalf of Ministry of Seniors in Housing, I would like to just say thank you. And I look forward to these sessions wrapping up and taking these lessons forward.
Thank you, Jeff.
Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Madden from Grand Spirit Foundation. Thank you and good evening to everyone. I bring greetings from Grand Spirit Foundation on behalf of our board of directors and staff. I wish to send appreciation to the seniors that are in our Pleasant View Lodge this evening participating, and that they've diligently participated in each of these 3 sessions. We thank you and look forward to your input into this very important facility. We're excited about this very special project, which will provide much needed accommodations for our seniors in a community where it will complement the already existing healthcare center and hospital and provide a facility that will assist aging in place in the community. Grand Spirit Foundation also looks forward to being a very important neighbor to the Grandview Condo Association. Thanks to the G5 partners that were mentioned, Alberta Seniors in Housing, Alberta Health Services, and to the community for making this a very special project and bring it these evenings together. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Steve. Sorry. Okay, great. So thank you for those opening remarks. So we'll get started with our summary session. Starting with a little bit of a background again. As we already know, the new Spirit River Lodge will consist of 92 lodge suites, and also will consist on a 24 self-contained seniors unit building. The building will be a multi-story facility with some residential design and is located in Spirit River. So for each of these topics, we try to answer the question, how does the built environment promote healthy living and sustainable communities? So our goal during these past sessions was to understand the social and the cultural context of Spirit River and the surrounding communities in order to shape the project vision. We look at the different levels of social architecture in order to allow us to shape the physical architecture of the project. So we started with the site and such amenities on the session number 1. Then on our second session on February 4, we look at the neighborhoods and the resident suites. And also we talk a little bit of what could happen with the existing facility, right? As the seniors move to the new lodge. So also we consider how these design decisions can foster the strong relationships between the staff, the residents, the families, and the community.
So we had a great turnout for both of the previous sessions. On January 28th, as Isaac mentioned, we discussed the site and lodge amenities. Zoom had 79 people signed in, and we received 3 additional questionnaires with input. On February 4th, we discussed the neighborhoods and resident suites, and despite a few technical difficulties, Zoom still had 58 people signed in. During session 1, we started our conversations with the site amenities. We heard what the important characteristics and amenities are to the community for the site to have. The following is a summary of the feedback that we received from everyone who joined us online for session 1 and the additional input from the questionnaires received. So, some of the questions we asked were, what are the important site amenities to you? The most popular responses were walking paths, greenhouse, outdoor patio, and healing gardens. You can see some other responses there as well. There's lots of great ideas. The second question we asked was, do you prefer the facility to have an outdoor space that is private or one that is accessible to all members of the community? Or perhaps it's a balance of both. The response that we heard back was that it should be a balance of both for the residents as well as for the community members. And the third question we asked was, how important are environmentally sustainable design features to you for this project? The response we heard was somewhat important at 61%.
So now you can see your screen, some image that kind of shows a little bit of how these spaces may look like. As you see right now, this image shows some of these raised gardens, shows a little bit of maybe of those bird feeders, a little bit of ponds, some sidewalks. So this is to start giving us an idea, start thinking, you know, how this facility might look like as we move forward with some of the concept, right? I think it's really nice to start seeing, you know, how it connects with the existing site, the amenities, and of the lodge, and how it can really create a really nice and vibrant community, right? So this is kind of what that image looks like. So a little bit of getting some thoughts started. Yeah, this other image as well. This kind of shows, you know, a potential outdoor amenity space, right? Looks a little bit of a cover area with maybe a little outdoor barbecue space where maybe families can gather, maybe, you know, visitors with some of the residents can get together. Behind, we see a little structure that can potentially be a greenhouse. So this is just to get us started thinking, right? How these spaces that we heard could start, you know, getting shape and how those might look like.
Next, during session 1, we focused on the lodge amenities. The amenities inside the lodge are important spaces that we need to get right because they'll, of course, support the daily life of each resident living in this building. The following is a summary of the feedback that we received from everyone who joined us online for session 1 and the additional input from the questionnaires we received. So some of the questions we asked were, what are some hobbies and interests to you or someone that you know that has, that should be accommodated in the new lodge? Some popular responses was game room, indoor garden area, fitness room, a library, kitchen capacity for resident participation, and a variety of other responses there you can see. On the second question, what are the important features in the current Pleasant View Lodge that should be accommodated in the new lodge? And all of the following responses were really popular and repeated often. The stained glass window, seniors library, apple tree, the canna room window, and the fish tank. And our third question related to this was, what important elements of the history and culture of Spirit River should be represented in the new facility? Central piece was a popular response, as well as historic images.
So for the next questions we can see here, we start asking then, how can we make family visits more memorable in the new lodge? So some of the things we heard was, You know, it has to be clean. There may be a kid-friendly room, maybe some bookable spaces for site visits. You know, a coffee, a tea, snacks available for visitors. Some games, some open dining areas. Maybe a family room with a kitchen, so people can gather there for a more private gathering. And also we ask, how important is it to you that the lodge has a strong connection to nature? And yeah, we heard that it was extremely important for everybody to have some connection to nature, some connection to the outdoors. So that was something that we're really going to consider as we start designing and looking at the shape and the options for this facility. Another question that we were asking is, what types of spaces are important for refuge and privacy? And again, we heard about indoor greenery, good views to the outdoors, perhaps a spiritual room, maybe some counseling area. Again, with that, I guess it's good to hear some maybe a peaceful place, natural light, maybe a library, some skylights, right? To watch the stars. That was also another good feedback that we heard regarding that. So yeah, great feedback in those questions. So continue with the questions that we asked regarding the lodge amenities. The next one was, how can we stimulate appetites and foster healthy relationships during meal times? Again, what we heard is more space for walkers and wheelchairs, and we thought that was really extremely important, right? To ensure that there was enough areas for barrier-free travel. The next one was on-site food preparation. That's a big one, you know, that this facility will have its own kitchen to ensure that there's, you know, the food is prepared on site. And also potentially an outdoor dining area. So I think that was great, right? To be able to connect maybe the main dining with an outdoor dining space. Again, other things that we heard was, you know, table high enough for scooters, good lighting, you know, focus on the quality of the food and not the quantity. And, you know, maybe adjustable lighting for the area, and maybe the ability to order meals to suites. So moving to the next question, it was, how can we encourage the physical activity among residents inside the lodge? So this question was, how can we make the lodge more, you know, inviting for people to kind of have some physical activity and encourage exercising? So some of the things we heard was an adequate indoor and outdoor walking space, maybe an in-house activity coordinator, an indoor walking track. We thought that was great too. That would be nice. With maybe some activities as you walk around, and maybe a destination space. Also, we heard about some exercise room with equipment, maybe an outdoor fire pit to encourage people going outside, and potentially having a dedicated activity room as well, right? Or maybe some multi-purpose spaces to achieve some of those you know, uses for activities and physical activity.
So the image that's up on the screen in the presentation is an example of library, comfortable seating area, creating a nice private space to go other than your room or in the dining room. And it also creates a small intimate living room for smaller groups as well. In this photo, it's showing the potential for perhaps a pub. More comfortable seating, again, semi-private space, and small intimate area where people can gather. In this photo, this is an example of what a potential dining room could look like. So it has central focus of fireplace, plenty of circulation, and windows to the outside views as well.
So again, also during session number 2, we started our conversation in regards of the neighborhoods of the facility. We showed you an example of a neighborhood, and we also discussed how this physical space It's not meant to be home-like, but it's also meant to be home, right? It's meant to be home for the residents. So we'll go through the summary of the feedback that we received from everyone who joined us on session number 2.
Some of the questions we asked were, what does home mean to you? We would agree that it should be comfortable, safe, bright, and inviting. Of course, you want to have it welcoming and a great place to meet with friends. Second question we asked was, what features and amenities would make the staff's daily procedures more efficient in relation to neighborhood layout? Some of the more popular answers we received was adequate home care storage and having about 10 resident suites per neighborhood. Another question we asked was, how can we make neighborhoods unique and distinguishable for the residents? There were some really great creative ideas. I really liked this most popular one of naming the hallways after local streets. As well, we could have display walls and memento boxes, providing distinguishable entries for the suites. Well, we asked what amenities or features should be included in the neighborhoods. And some of the popular answers were the small resident kitchen area, big windows for natural light, shorter hallways, and a fenced outdoor seating area.
Just a quick comment here. I think there should be a space for massage and physiotherapy to come in on an appointment basis. I don't see a hairdressing room either. When I visit the lodge now, my greatest concern is the temperature, as it is always too warm. So either the air conditioning needs to be exceptional in the resident rooms or provision to open windows. That was the benefit of the Canada room. My last wish is to have underground parking in the cold winter climate. So thank you, Karen, for that great feedback. We will definitely take that all into consideration.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, a hair salon is definitely something we'll consider that we'll have as part of the amenities. And yeah, I think we have it as some of the summary there as well. So right now, this image kind of shows a little bit of an idea of how we can create some of these, common areas within the neighborhoods. We're showing a little bit of a seating space. We're showing as well as some nice semi-private areas. We see a little bit of a kitchenette on the back. We can see some comfortable, how can also that be integrated in an open space, not necessarily has to be enclosed, so it's within the neighborhood. And also, as you can start seeing, we can see with the different floor finishes, and we can create some of these, define these spaces without having any actual partitions. And also with the ceilings, right? As you can see, this image shows a little bit of a bulkhead just on top of that seating area, and maybe a little bit of different lighting. Just create a nice focal point to kind of define those spaces without having necessary walls with it. So just a little bit of an example how these common semi-private areas can see in the neighborhoods.
Before we move on to the next image, Isaac, just one more quick comment. A computer room for the residents and for staff training as well.
That's right. Yes, that's a good space that could be used. Maybe a flexible space that could be just a computer room and something else for sure. Again, this is just another view of this kind of neighborhood central space, right? Showing some seating, maybe some windows that can look into connection to the outdoors, a connection to to maybe a private fence outdoor space, patio. So that will be something that we'll definitely will look at incorporating into these neighborhoods, right? To have some connections with an outdoor area that is secured. And yeah, just kind of get the feeling of how these spaces are maybe looking like, right? As type of the sense and the height of each of them.
Okay, so finally, during session 2, we focused on the resident suites. It's important for residents to have a welcoming and comforting private suite that they can make their own while they reside at the lodge. The following is a summary of the feedback that we received from everyone who joined us online in session 2. Some of the questions we asked were, what can be improved in the existing suites? And larger doorways for wheelchairs, wider hallways, more square footage, improved nurse call system, good quality Wi-Fi, as well as a bunch of other awesome comments. And what are important features and or characteristics of the new suites that should be considered? It should have a private bathroom, privacy blinds on the windows, kitchenette, and ability to mount TVs on the wall.
Yeah, is there anything else anybody think that could be added, or, you know, yeah, again, just feel free to give us any other feedback if needed.
I think this is more on the previous session with our neighborhoods, but actually having a common neighborhood gathering area. And for the suites, I believe we need strong internet access in the resident rooms too. We are coming in used to using computers and smart technology.
Yeah, for sure. All the way
For
throughout the facility would be fantastic.
Tracy, can you go back to one slide? I think we are skipping one right now. No, just the other way.
There we go.
There you go. Thank you.
Is that me?
So here, yeah.
It is me. Sorry, Isaac. So here's an example of our resident suite. So on the floor plan, you can see the accessible washroom, kitchenette, bedroom, and a patio on the bottom left, living room and dining room space, as well as some storage space as well.
So again, this is just an example how a suite might be laid out. Doesn't mean this is kind of what we're gonna be, but it's pretty close. Some of the things that we hear, right, that we see that the window should be low enough to allow for somebody that is in the bed that still can see outside and have a connection. As Tracy mentioned, right, the bathroom should be close to the bed, and you know, having enough space for a wheelchair, so you know, circulation to move around, and yeah, just looking at some of the storage and that has to be added to each of the spaces as well.
And storage in the washroom as well.
Definitely, yes. There will be some storage areas in the washrooms. Any other thoughts in terms of the suites that anybody wants to add? Any other comments before we move to the next questions? Okay.
Oh, sorry, couples rooms.
Yeah, definitely we'll be looking at some potentially maybe larger suites, or be able to, some suites to be connected to allow for those couple rooms. So sometimes what we do is we have those independent suites, but also we create some doors in between them in some of them to be able to have that opportunity if needed. So just as an idea, that could happen for sure. Okay, so that kind of wrapped up a little bit of the questionnaires, the questions and the feedback we got regarding the common lodge amenities, the neighborhoods itself, and the resident suites. On last week's session, we also started, we asked a couple of questions regarding the existing facility. And so we just want to do a little bit of recap of what that could be. Tracy, you go move to the next question.
Sorry, it's not showing where.
There you go.
I clicked the page to go to the next one, and it went backwards again.
No worries. So basically, okay, so now we see on the screen. So we started with a poll, and we asked everybody, is it important for the existing Pleasant View Lodge to be reused in some way? So 60% of the answers, of course, is yes. You know, 22% was neutral and 13% no, right? But I think it's important to, as we have an existing building, to see if there's a way to reuse it in some way, right? So it's not a wasted space building. So then we asked the question, what could the existing facility be used for once the seniors have moved into the new lodge? So with that, we heard quite a few options, and actually it was pretty good. There was a lot of feedback in terms of what the existing facility could be used for in the future. So some of the things we heard was low-income housing, potentially some temporary housing as well, a community center, maybe an addictions treatment center as well. You know, a mental health facility, a women's shelter, a daycare as well. We heard a daycare would be important. Maybe some seniors apartments. Yeah, a youth group center. So there's a lot of good, you know, good opportunities that the facility, the existing facility, could be used for. So I guess as the discussions keep coming, yeah, they would be pretty good to find the best use for the existing, yeah, Pleasant View Lodge in that regard.
One comment here, staff housing will be needed badly in Spirit River.
Yeah, okay. So I would like to take this opportunity as well to, you know, welcome everybody to provide us any more feedback or input in any of the, you know, the different topics that we you know, cover in terms of any of the questions. If anybody wants to add anything else in regards of the, you know, the outdoor amenities of the lodge, of the indoor amenities of the facility, maybe on the neighborhoods, on the resident suites, or even of what can the existing facility could be used for. Like, we would like to hear if any other comments, any thoughts, any other feedback that you guys would like to give us right now. This would be a great time for that and to have a little bit of a discussion.
For the existing lodge, it could maybe be used for a short-term stay for out-of-town visitors.
Okay. Any other comments or thoughts?
And don't forget, you can unmute yourself and just talk as well, if you're not fast on the keyboard.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, please, you can please unmute and provide us any other thoughts in terms of any of the questions that we been asking so far.
Not to throw you on the spot, but Wesley, I see that you have your microphone unmuted. I noticed you did also just join, so you might just be new in the group now, but did you have anything you wanted to say out loud while you're unmuted?
No, I just wanted to listen.
Okay.
Welcome.
Okay.
Okay, so this wraps up the summary session for the Spirit River Lodge project. We thank everyone who has participated over the last 3 weeks, providing great feedback for us now to use as we move forward with the new facility design.
So right now, at this point, we're still going to be gathering all this information that we got in the last sessions. And the next step for us is come up with a functional program of the facility based on all the feedback that we gather. And then we're going to start looking at some ideas, right? Starting looking at some conceptual layouts of the site, of the floor plans, so we can start, you know, seeing what the best configuration for the new facility.
Another comment for the existing facility, you could use it for storage and parking.
Okay.
How will that be financed? Don't short the new project for an old building.
It could be wrong, but I don't think the intention is that the revitalization of the old lodge would be under this project.
So maybe at this moment, I'm gonna maybe you know, let anybody maybe to do some closing remarks from the government of Alberta. Anybody from the Grand Spirit Foundation, they would like to give us any thoughts, you know, before we kind of wrap up this evening.
Yeah, thanks, Isaac. I'll just jump in just quickly to say, I guess I wanted to say just thank you to you guys for organizing these, and thank you to Grand Spirit Foundation and Spirit River and the communities around the area that have had this input. There's a quote on my wall behind me here that says, "If you don't know where you're going, how can you expect to get there?" And I find that pretty valuable for most things in life. But definitely the information that we've collected here today and that the community members have provided is valuable feedback that we'll use as part of the structure and the foundation to taking this project forward. So the next steps for us is basically, as the project team, it's time to roll up our sleeves and kind of go to work. With all these great ideas, we're going to need to put them down on, not just nice visual pictures, but we need to put them down on paper too, and start taking a look and exploring what this building and this will look like. And to the question, back to the other lodge, I just wanted to add that, part of that process of this discussion that we're having today is to do the analysis and take those ideas back. We maybe don't have an answer today, but this information is valuable and that helps us form some decisions that we need to make moving forward. So I just wanted to say thank you again. The feedback has been very positive, and I'm just really thrilled with the involvement and just participation from the community. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
And it's Steve here from Grand Spirit again. Isaac, thank you to you and your team and at Barry Architecture for putting these sessions together. Lots of learning here, and appreciate the feedback that's coming from our seniors at our lodge in Pleasant View, and this evening seeing some comments that they're providing, and those that are at the condo association right next door to the new land that we're working with. So good to see them in the session as well. Look forward to this process into the future and working with the project owner, Alberta Seniors in Housing, and Jeff and your team and Jason through this into a successful project in the future. So thanks so much, everyone, and looking forward to the next steps.
Thank you, Steve.
So this presentation will be uploaded on the project website within the next 24 hours, and we greatly appreciate if you could take a few minutes to fill out the questionnaire on the project website to let us know how we did during these community engagements. And I see Tracy has got her finger out. Just one more comment.
More than one.
Oh, wonderful.
So first, we've got fitness and wellness and various community classes to be involved in or included in the lodge. Question number 1, will there be different sizes of suites?
Well, yeah, as we just mentioned, we'll start looking at the layout of the facility. We had to determine what are the sizes of the suites, but potentially, right, just as we heard, right, maybe there will be a couple's suite, right? So yeah, potentially some suites will be different sizes to accommodate the needs of the facility.
I'm going to combine these two because they're a little similar, but will there be another session either in person or virtually to do the presentation of the design / will there be further opportunity to view the design drawings before any final decisions are made?
Well, I think for us here, for our team, this pre-award phase is about coming together with, as we gather this information that we got from all you guys, and start looking at some of these ideas, put it in paper, put it in a floor plan, in some maybe, 3D images. There will be the opportunity to share again what we've been working so far. We have this platform that is already in place, this website. So at some point, there will be the opportunity, I think, to provide some updates as the project progress.
On that website, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then just one more comment here, unless anybody else has anything more to say. The old building is 60 years old. If the new building will have a similar lifespan, then we need to make sure that it is flexible enough to include new technologies.
Definitely, yes. As we design now new facilities, we understand buildings have to be flexible to change, right? Technology changes. So all of these spaces that we're talking about, right, they need to be multi-purpose, flexible enough to change as the different needs of the generations changes, right? As the different hobbies or amenities are looking for, right? This is not only designing for what is needed today, but also for tomorrow. And the buildings should be flexible enough to adapt to those changes as they come. Yeah, good thoughts for sure.
Okay, I've got nothing else as of right now, so.
We've got the all clear from Tracy on her end as far as comments go.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. And we really appreciate all your feedback and for joining us on the last couple of weeks. And we're really excited as a team here to continue working on this project. And yeah, we're looking forward to see what we can come up to as a beautiful design for the facility.
Yeah, absolutely looking forward, moving forward. Looking forward to moving forward. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful evening, and we'll be all in touch soon.